everyone. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of M Cosmetics. I have the new Daydream Cushion Foundation. We have the lip luminizers, the new palette from them, the Divine Skies Faded Clementine. There's just a lot to go over. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you like me, I would love to have you back. So make sure to subscribe as well. And with all of that, let's get on into the video. Okay, so first let's start off with the new foundation that M Cosmetics has released this year. This is the Daydream Cushion Foundation. I'm in the lightest shade. I'm in the shade Cloud Dream Fair. I swear to God, if those dogs start. Can't wait any longer though to get some foundation onto this pimple. I'm just going to tap into the product, and you guys, I was actually healing like a leftover spot from a pimple in the exact same spot that hasn't been there for months, and then right when I felt like it was healing, another one came up right in its spot. What are you gonna do? But back to the foundation. So I have really been liking this foundation because it's very lightweight. This is probably one of the most lightweight cushion foundations I've ever used. It really appears like skin when you apply it. I like that the finish is more natural and skin-like rather than something super dewy, which, I mean, you guys know, I love a good dewy foundation, but I think that this is such a nice kind of everyday, easy foundation to work with because the finish is just so in the middle. This really looks like skin and it feels like incredibly lightweight. So I have really been enjoying this one. And I also like that they give you a backup and that refill comes included, so I do like that as well. So I'm just pressing that in. The only thing I don't like about this foundation is I don't really like this applicator that much. You could certainly just go in with like a beauty blender and apply it that way, but I do like that these applicators give you like a little bit more coverage, I think, so I do like using these. When you see it in person, it's really difficult to see where the foundation starts and stops, which is amazing. I really like that. So if you are someone that likes more of a light to medium coverage and completely meshes into the skin, I think you will be a big fan of this, especially because I know not everyone wants a foundation that's more on the dewy side. Okay, so feeling much better. My skin looks a lot better than it did just a few seconds ago. So I'm going to quickly do some concealer off camera and then we'll get back into the M Cosmetics products. All right, so next I think I want to go into the brows. So I have a couple of M Cosmetics brow products here. These are my two favorites. They also have kind of like a cream color product for the brows, but my favorites to use are the Fineliner brow pencil, and this is the shade Brunette. And then I also love, I think one of my favorite M Cosmetics products, period. This is just a clear brow gel, but I'm telling you, it is just one of the best that I've tried. I am not a fan of a very chunky clear brow gel, one that looks like hairspray, something really sticky and stiff. I like a fluffy look to my brow, and this gives me that fluffy look without it looking like a lot of heavy product. So I'm first going to use the Fineliner brow pencil, and this is Brunette. It did have a spoolie at one point. I feel like brow pencils, the spoolie always breaks off. Please tell me that I'm not the only person that happens to. I don't think I have a single brow pencil that doesn't have a spoolie broken off at the other end. You guys, how did we do our makeup before brow products? I like look back and I'm like, I would just put on like foundation, sometimes no concealer and no brow products. Like, I don't even know who that woman is. Well, at that time I was kind of just a baby. But anyway, I'm going to use the clear brow gel now. And do you see that fluffiness that it imparts to the brow hairs? I love it. And I feel like I can really manipulate the hairs and put them exactly where I want them, just to give my brows that ultra fluffy look. And it's still a matte formula, so you're not gonna have those shiny brows, which is totally not my jam. I don't like a shiny looking brow. Okay, so next we're going to go in with blush. Now you guys know that the Serum blushes from Cosmetics are one of their like cult favorite products. I am a very big fan of them as well. My favorite is Sunset Sky, and I do have the original 4 shades, so I'll leave up swatches for you guys. But I wanted to go in with Pink Nectar today because I feel like this would be a really pretty color to use with the new palette that they just came out with. So I'm just going to take a little bit onto the back of my hand, just using like that much, because this is one of the more bright colors. I don't want to go too overboard with it. And this is such a gorgeous, gorgeous dewy blush. If you are someone that loves to bring like the glass skin to your looks, you will be a huge, huge fan of this one. And it works really well with the cushion foundation as well. You can see it's just blending out completely seamlessly. And again, like you can skip highlight once you've applied this because it just gives your skin that gorgeous glossiness. And that is the shade of Pink Nectar. That's just one light layer. You can totally build it up. That's 2 layers. I turned down the lights so you guys can get a better look at the actual color. So that's it unblended. And then that is it blended. This is one of the most unique cream or liquid blush formulas that I own because it just looks and feels like a skincare product. The texture is incredibly serum-like. It almost kind of feels like a thin, like serum, kind of like facial oil product. If you love that pop of glossy color, then I think you will be a big fan. All right, now the cheeks are done, so we can go into the palette. And this is the one thing I'm really, really excited about because I haven't tried it out yet. It's the Divine Skies eyeshadow palette from Cosmetics. They just sent this in the mail to me, and look at this, guys. There we go. I feel like this was a little bit difficult to open, just so you guys know. But here is the palette. I just feel like this is a perfect palette for this time of year. Just these tones are so gorgeous. I have not even swatched these. All right, well, here we go into the eyes. So I think in the crease, I'm going to use this shade down here. This is the shade Faded Clementine. Picking up a fluffy brush and getting that onto and into the crease. Oh, that is pigmented. It's blending really nice out, but damn, I wasn't expecting the pigment. I'm mostly a cream shadow person. So yeah, I mean, that's pigmented. So I'm not used to working with, ow, what did I get in my eye? This video is quickly devolving. So I'm someone that prefers creams because I like the look that I can achieve, something that's really creamy and just looks really lifelike on the skin. So it'll be interesting to see what I think about this powder formula. Right now, I am very impressed by the pigment, but also the blendability, because I'm not a fan of a super pigmented shadow that just I can't work with. I would prefer something a little bit less pigmented and more blendable. But it looks like right now I'm getting the best of both worlds. So right now I'm really, really liking it. But next I want to go in. You know what? Let's go in with this shade down here. This is the shade Eros, and I'm going to put that on the outer edge of my lid. This is kind of like a burgundy, plummy shade. I am like really surprised at the pigmentation. I think with, you know, Cosmetics, everything is so blendable and effortless that I was expecting maybe less pigment, I think. And you know what, maybe that's kind of the way I thought these were gonna be too. I was like, oh, you know, they'll be very sheer, super blendable, but it's actually reminding me a lot of the Color Serum blushes for the fact that you get the pigment for sure, but the blendability is still there. So yeah, I am liking this right now. And that is a very rich, smooth color. So I was just gonna put that on the outer edge, but now I'm kind of just putting it everywhere, but which is fine. I'm not gonna take it on the inner portion of the eye though. I really appreciate the shade selection of this. You know, I'm someone that doesn't like anything too warm, and this has such a nice blend of warm tones and like richer tones. I'm really excited to dive into that brown. And this Arrow shade I think is even better than I was expecting it to be. It is so pretty. Okay, so we have a nice kind of base down. It looks really like blended and smooth. But next we should go into one of these shimmers. I can't decide which I want to use. I'm leaning more towards this one, but let's kind of swatch a few on my hand. So this is the shade Eden. Look at that color. Wow. Okay, that is gorgeous. Now let's go into this more true gold shade up here. This is the shade Nostalgia. That is a very like classic kind of warm toned gold. And then let's go in over here with Sweet Memory. So that is a little bit more orangey, I would say. So these are the three shimmery shades. Honestly, this is reminding me of a color story that like Tom Ford or Charlotte Tilbury would come out with. Like, these are really pretty and well thought out shades. So, I mean, kudos to M Cosmetics. But let's see what, honestly, I think I'm gonna go in with Eden. I think Eden was the one that was calling my name. So I'm gonna put that more so on this half of my eye, and then maybe go in with one of the other golden shades towards the inner corner. That way the look doesn't get too moody. Wow. You guys, this is so gorgeous. This shade looks like cream. Like, it's giving me the look of a cream with that powder formula. And there's, I mean, absolutely no fallout on any of these shades. I am just really impressed with this. Okay, let's go in and get this on the other eye. That is just like the most satisfying thing. This is just like ASMR in real time, like applying this on my lid, because it is just very smooth. And that color, I love that it gives like that light and that glossiness, but it's not heavy. Like, a lot of metallics look really heavy on the lids, so even though they reflect back a lot of light in person, the eyelids tend to look heavy, which is why, that is why I'm more of a cream shadow person rather than a powder. You have a better chance of the skin looking hydrated and healthy. But these shadows look incredibly lightweight on the lids, but also just bring that shine. I am a happy lady right now. So I do want to go in with one of these golden shades though. So I think I'm going to go in with this shade up here. It's called Nostalgia. It looks to be a similar finish to the one we just used, and I'm really impressed with this finish right now. Yes. This just feels really luxury to me, you guys. They're blending beautifully with each other. There's no fallout. The lids don't look heavy and weighed down with product. I do want to go in and put a bit of these two shades on the lower lash line. So I'm first gonna start off with Arrows. That's that really nice, like burgundy, plummy shade. What kind of shade is this? It's like a dark burgundy plum. Yeah, I think that's how I would describe it. So I'm just taking that over here. And I'm just gonna kind of deepen this outer corner back up a little bit as well. So this is like my favorite eyeshadow brush that I've ever used. I've talked about it a few times. It's the Pro 18 shadow brush. If you are someone that likes to get that detail work on your outer edge, and that I'm definitely one of those people because I really blend out like my looks and they look really blown out. This gives me control to add a little bit more structure back in. So that's kind of the way that I do my shadow looks. That's kind of the way that it makes sense for me to do my eyeshadow. Kind of interested now in what the Magic Hour palette was like, because that one was a little bit more like soft pinky tones, but this one, I mean, this has absolutely gorgeous pigment, just a lot of like vibrancy. And now I'm going to use like a little bit of this chocolatey brown shade. This is Bordeaux. And let's see, is this like a true chocolatey brown? Or let's see. Ooh, you see how it has that red shift to it? It's not a shift, but it has a red undertone. Yes, those are my favorite browns. I am pumped. That added just beautiful, crazy dimension back into the look that I definitely didn't even realize I needed, but it looks really good. I feel like I'm just like layering and layering shadow. I'm not even meaning to get like such a dramatic look right now, but I'm just having a lot of, I'm just having a lot of fun like building onto these shadows. I feel like Sweet Memory and Nostalgia are pretty similar. They're not completely similar. Like Nostalgia is definitely more of a true gold, and Sweet Memory definitely has more of an orange tone to it. I think they included Sweet Memory just because it's a little bit more of like a satin metallic rather than like a true like wet looking metallic. So that's going to be better for every day, I think. So I'm interested in seeing how that looks just like all over the lid alone. But I do wish there was like a lighter shimmer, like one to kind of like pop right in the middle of the lid. But you know what? Let's see how that looks with Sweet Memory. Let's do that and see if it actually gives me that pop that I'm looking for. Not bad, honestly. It definitely does bring a little bit of light back in, but I do think I wanted one that was a little bit lighter than that. All right, let's wrap up this look. Let's do some final blending. All right, so basically I'm obsessed with that palette. I need to look at how much it was. The palette is 38 bucks. I think for these formulas and the colors, like the way they look, they feel so luxury. This shade selection, everything feels very like Tom Ford, Charlotte Tilbury to me, and you also get a better shade selection than you would out of a quad. I feel like for an upcoming Save or Splurge video, I should compare this to one of those palettes because I feel like I would much rather go with something like this because yeah, I'm just very impressed. So now I'm going to quickly curl my lashes. I don't know why I always say I'm going to quickly curl my lashes. I'm not going to rush it because you could really mess up your eyelashes if you do. But you know what? That is something that I wish more indie brands came out with. I would love to see more eyelash curlers because eyelash curlers are such an underrated makeup tool. Like once I found a luxury eyelash curler that I loved, this one is from Kevyn Auccoin, I could not do my makeup without it. Like I would not put on mascara without using this first because it just would not look good. So now we're going in with the Pick Me Up Mascara from M Cosmetics. I did an entire review on this one. This is a really nice tubing mascara that actually gives volume. A lot of tubing mascaras are really lengthening and they just don't build and give you volume. So this is a really good mascara for actual volume and length. It's also at that perfect stage now that it has just the perfect texture. It's not too wet, it's not too dry. All right, that is one coat down. And then let's go over here for a second, or not a second coat, but a second eye. There we are. So that is one coat on both eyes, and there are the eyes all complete. Really could not be happier. I feel like this palette also really complements my eye color as well. Like I feel like everything is popping in a really pretty way. So yeah, really like it. So for the lips, I want to try out a new to me lip product, which are the lip cushions. So I have all 5 shades. So I've only ever tried Faded Clementine on my lips, and I am very impressed with the formula. Like it feels more like a balm, like a stick balm, rather than like a glossy sort of lip product. But I don't think I want to go with like orange on orange. I kind of want to try out one of the more muted shades just because I feel like the eyes are already making a big statement. I think with this look, I'm kind of between Angele and Magic Hour. I know Faded Clementine would look really pretty with this, but I do want to go with something just a little bit more toned down. So I think I want to go with Magic Hour because it does have a little bit more of an orangey undertone, and I think that will complement everything prettily. So let's go ahead and apply this. That is very pretty. I love the feeling of these. It's just really balmy. It definitely gives you that glossiness, but it really feels more like a stick kind of balm texture that's more on the melty side. Feels really comfortable as well. I really like this color, but I feel like now it's too much. Like now it's too much warm. So maybe I'm going to try the other shade. Is it Angele? Am I pronouncing this right? I don't know. Now I kind of want to try Venetian Rose though. Am I gonna? Oh my god. That is such an Amanda shade. I need to just pick. I don't want to pick. I want to wear all of them. Let's try Angele. Can always put on another one. Look at that. That is just beautiful, gorgeous, melty pigment. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. I definitely think we're going to go with this shade, though Venetian Rose is on my list next. I definitely want to try out that shade this week. Let's walk through all of the products that I used, and let me give you kind of like my final reviews, thoughts, the reasons I like them or maybe don't like them. So let's go in first with my very gross Daydream cushion that had makeup all over it. So again, I really like this foundation because it just looks so lightweight on the skin. It's just one of those foundations that doesn't look like a lot of product, and I like that it gives you that beautiful light to medium coverage. It's very lightweight on the skin. I also really like the way that this foundation wears as well, because it's such a thin texture that really adheres to the skin. I feel like it lasts a little bit longer on my skin than other cushion foundations I've tried, or definitely lasts longer than like your typical tinted moisturizer or skin tint. So if you're looking for a really easy skin-like foundation, especially if you have like more normal to combination skin and you have trouble finding skin-like, like light coverage foundations that look good, especially throughout the day, I definitely think that you will love this one. And I, you know, being someone with dry skin, I still really like it. So yeah, really enjoy the foundation. Moving into the brow products. So out of the brow products, I would say the Invisabrow is my favorite. Am I making up that name? I really hope I'm not making up that name. Are you kidding me? It's Flexibrow. Why was I thinking Invisabrow? I think I'm thinking of Invisibobble because I use Invisibobbles all the time in my hair, but it's called Flexi Brow. This is like by far my favorite clear brow gel that I've ever used. I love a fluffy looking brow. I don't like anything that looks really heavy. This still gives you flexibility, but it still has nice hold. And I like that I can manipulate the brow hairs really exactly where I want them without it looking really shiny either, because this is more of a matte finish. I think the brow pencil is good, but you know, there are a lot of brow pencils out there that you can get at a cheaper price point. So I think Flexibrow is where I would spend my money. Now, next getting on into the beautiful color Serum blushes. I have Pink Nectar on my cheeks today. If you're someone that loves that glossiness, you really love a pop of color, and you want something that's just really a unique formula, I would highly, highly recommend these, and I've recommended them to you guys for a long time. I would love to try out different shades from the line because they just recently released a lot of absolutely gorgeous shades. Sunset Sky is still my favorite. It's just that beautiful coral red, but Pink Nectar is also just absolutely gorgeous. I think this is definitely my second favorite, and for this look, for this color story, it really, really made sense. Next, moving on into the Divine Skies eyeshadow palette in Faded Clementine. One thing I don't like about this palette is it's kind of hard to open. So if you have nails, it might be a little bit difficult to open for you. But literally, I think that's the only thing I dislike about this entire palette. I could not be more happy with this. And again, you guys, I am a cream shadow person. I am a person that prefers a really creamy finish to my shadows, something that doesn't look really heavy or really metallic and chunky. This just gives me exactly what I'm looking for. It really looks creamy on the lids. The pigment is there. I mean, these are definitely packed with pigment. I love how even the pigmentation is. The color story, the packaging, everything feels really luxe to me, and this formula follows suit. It just blends beautifully. I could really not be happier with it. And next, moving on into the Pick Me Up mascara. That is not the Pick Me Up mascara, this is. If you guys want more details, I've done an entire review of this, but I will say that as I've continued to wear it, I really like it because it lasts a long time. I don't experience any flaking or smudging. It's great if I want a more long wear mascara, but I do think that because of that, I noticed that my lashes droop a little bit faster than they would with a typical mascara. Personally, there are other mascaras that I like more, but I do appreciate this one, especially for someone that prefers a tubing mascara, but they want something with a little bit more volume. And lastly, we have the beautiful lip cushions from M Cosmetics. So I am just a really, really big fan of these. They're just a really unique formula. There's a really beautiful plushness to them and a beautiful glide. They feel really nourishing on the lips, but you can see it just gives you that beautiful veil of color. There's a richness to the pigment, but the pigmentation isn't too much, which I also don't like. I don't like when my lip colors are too rich and pigmented, at least for a formula like this, because I feel like you're more likely to get the kind of butthole lip when you're working with a more glossy texture, but this one is just really, really beautiful. They feel really nourishing on the lips. You know what? I'm someone that if my lip color isn't comfortable, then why bother for me? So I'm very, very happy with this formula. So yeah, guys, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. So if you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you like me, I'd love to have you back. So make sure to subscribe as well. And with all of that, I will see you in my next one.